Hey guys, alright, so let's summarize the whole resin epoxy coaster pouring. So we started out with some molds, some silicone molds. We have this one, which puts an edge all around your coaster. So you have a lip, you put your drink in and it sits inside of a lip. So that's these ones. Basically you are pouring them upside down. That whatever's on the bottom is actually your top, and whatever's up here is on your bottom. So we started out by pouring them. This was the first. So obviously it began like so. And I used some pieces of wood that I had. I failed to pin them to the bottom, or actually the top of the mold, and then I got this. So I thought, well, that might be okay. And I'll stick them on the mill and I'll just mill it out and then I'll finish it up. That didn't work out so well when I did that on the mill. I found the resin maybe was not fully cured yet and it was very grabby and it didn't do a good job. I could maybe try it again now that it's sat up for maybe a couple weeks now. I guess it's been sitting up. So anyway, that's what I ended up with. Not such a good outcome. I also, because I poured too much resin, thought, well, I'll make some more with these molds, these silicone molds, just discs, basically. And I ended up with this. Again, I didn't pin the wood down, which would have put it at the bottom. So this would have been poured like so. And the wood floated up all the time, just kept floating up, and I kept trying to push it down, and I just gave up after a while. I was done with it. So I thought, well, I could take one of these and stick it in the lathe and turn it down, and that actually didn't turn out too badly. So I ended up with this. Now, I did try spraying that with some clear lacquer. Not such a good, didn't really work out very well. So I think what I would do is turn that down and then progressively sand that down like you normally would do with something like this. And it probably would turn out really well. So I have that one, this one, this one. I have another one that turned out really poorly and I think I threw it in the garbage. But anyway, that's what you get with that. So basically I was turning down the top because the wood was closest to the top because it floated up. And on the bottom, I just thought that would be left as the bottom. That's how those ones, the first incarnation, started out. I then gave it a re-pour. And with these ones, I didn't do the round ones again. Ended up with this. Now it wasn't all like this. When I poured these, so what I did first was I poured a clear layer on the bottom, which is the top. I then took the wood and placed it inside the mold so that it wouldn't float up. And then I let it set up for a day. I made sure to put generous amounts of resin on the wood so I wouldn't get air bubbles, but in the end, I still ended up with some air bubbles on top. It doesn't look like it from this video. Well, you can see a few dots. But what I did here to remedy that, I poured a clear, let me just zip back again. I poured the clear with the wood, and then I poured the colored resin. As you can see, that's the color on the top, which is the bottom, okay? You're following along here? And that's what we ended up with. So then to fix the air bubbles that were trapped underneath the wood, I then just poured clear resin into this. Just sitting here, I just poured resin into here. And that didn't actually turn out too bad. I think if I did it again, I would pour more resin into there. What I could also do is pour a clear layer first put no wood into it. A thin clear layer so it covers the whole edge or the whole surface. Let that set up, then pour another clear layer and put the wood in. Now I think that would make this perfect. And then pour the colored layer, which is your bottom, on top of that. So it would be then 3 steps to make these coasters. Not a big deal. I mean, it's not hard to pour resin. I just mix it up in some beer cups. That's all I do, and I grab my little gram scale. I don't need graduated lines or anything. You know, I just take the cup, tear the weight of the cup, put, say, you know, 30 grams of each A and B resin. So I got my 1-to-1 ratio, and mix it up, color it if I want with my mica powder, and pour it, and chuck the cup out. Pretty simple deal. So anyway, that didn't turn out too bad. I have these three, not perfect yet, not really exactly what I wanted, but you know what, not so far off. So what did I learn? Well, in the end, I learned that this is not as simple as maybe I might have thought it was, that there are a lot of little steps that you need to pay very close attention to. And in the end, I sort of failed, and I'm not unhappy with the fact that I failed, because I'll keep trying it until I kind of work it all out. And to me, that's kind of the fun part of it, is you know, succeeding the first time around just causes me to push everything aside and say, well, you know, been there, done that. But with this, not so easy. Actually, kind of happy to fail. Anywho, that's where we're at with that. And that'll end this one, and maybe the next one I do, where I pour resin, I will succeed after all I've learned. Keep in mind, you can also not even bother putting some. This just applies. These problems that I have just seem to apply because I'm trying to put something into the resin inside the coaster. If you want to just pour clear, you know, or just colored resin, you could just have a perfect coaster ready to go. You know, whatever textures you want in there. Or, matter of fact, you could even you put some heavier objects instead of wood in there that wouldn't float and wouldn't cause you that issue. But anyway, like I said, if you just wanted a colored resin coaster, easily done. Just easily pour some in there and let them set up, and they're done. You don't have to fuss about it. Anyway, guys, hope you've had what are we, into December? Hope you've had a good week, and hope you're about to have a good weekend. And talk to you soon on my next, hopefully successful resin project. Take it easy.